like to welcome you all to the September Golf Committee meeting. Approval of the August 13th meeting minutes. Dave, second. Any corrections, additions? If not, all votes. We have two proxies, by the way. John has Brad's proxy and Jim has Clay's proxy. Okay? Okay, that was across the board. Okay, let's start over here with Jerry for golf reports, facility reports.
Okay, I've got...
These are all new. These are all new this time.
I've got Highlands this year, so I've been out and visited, looked the course over. I know they're waiting on the last delivery of carts that have been loaned out to the other courses. We'll get those in. I think Alex said maybe tomorrow, and they'll be ready to rock and roll on Friday. Good morning. There it is. Pro shop's well stocked and everything's maintained very well inside. Course is ready to play. I went out and toured it, looked at all of the holes. There's a couple of spots, a few spots, a number 8 kind of down in the bottom and stuff is still got, it's a little rough, but it's coming on. Everything from the time we had the opening up to this point is probably 3 or 4 times better than I ever thought. It's really filled in from that last opening that we had. I like to commend Greg for his staff for their work of getting this thing going. You know, the collars, the greens, they've aerated the greens and they're ready to start working those down for play for Friday. Everything looks great. It's going to change the strategy of most of our golfers that have to play, because that grass is just different, and they'll find that out quick enough. But I'd like to commend them for their efforts, and everything's ready to play. The staff out there in the pro shop and everything is great, and I'm glad to be back out there.
Good, thank you. Thank you, Jerry. Dave?
Okay, I've got Tanyard Creek practice facility. Was over there yesterday and spoke with Hannah, and she says everything's going well. She has no need of anything. It's all running very well. Great atmosphere when you walk in the door. Beautiful place. I mean, you got the beautiful bar there with a great view of the range out there, and good merchandise for people to buy things there. Great selection. Very busy. Always busy. A lot of people were there when I was there, and overall, it's just, I think, a fantastic facility.
Thank you, Dave. Kimberly?
I have Dogwood and Brittany. Dogwood was out there last week, and I don't have any complaints on Dogwood. It was great staff inside the clubhouse. It was all wonderful. Brittany, kind of curious about the greens. Just a little, they were kind of like weeds. I don't know, it was like a crabgrass or something. Is that what's in there? That's all I've got to say.
We'll address that later. So. Okay, Jim has Clay's.
Clay reported that the shop was great, very friendly, good merchandise, carts with great shape, driving range. He said it's good, but right now everything's going well there. Overall course experience was good. Then he had 4 things or 5 here that he noted. He also said that Kyle was aware of and working on. Area number 1, replace the curb border along cart path and steep grass incline on number 12. And I'll Kyle address that after, and it's something I was thinking about taking out of the boards.
Your mic.
Oh, sorry. Let me start over?
Yeah, please.
Okay. Clay's report. Pro shop's doing well, very good condition. Carts are in great shape. Driving range, very good right now. Overall course experience, he said, was really good. He had 5 things that he wanted to address, and I know he addressed these with Kyle. Area number 1 was replaced border between cart path and the steep incline on hole number 12. And I can let Kyle talk about that if you want, but I know in his report he said he's thinking about just taking those boards out and let the grass grow there. So that's one. Number 2 was replace guardrail on bridge from hole number 1 to 2. And I know Kyle said he's gonna address that in the winter, I think you said. And then repair bridge guide wires on hole number 16, and the same thing there. He was gonna address when he gets to the time this winter. Area number 4 is cart path near hole number 10, and that's down by the green. It's really worn there, and people are going both different directions. And now it's wearing out on the right and the left, because nobody's driving over the cart path, right next to that tree, approximate across from the green on hole number 10. And Kyle, I don't remember what you said about that. I think you said you were going to address that sometime in the future? Yeah. Okay. And then he said there were some public picnic tables behind the pro shop that just needed to be thrown away. And I think you've already taken care of that. You haven't, but he said they're just all broken, falling apart, just throw them away.
Okay, thank you.
That's it.
And we don't have Brad's, but go ahead, John, on yours.
Yeah, I have the country club. I was here this past weekend. The course was in good shape. The cart was in great shape. Went through the pro shop. Everybody there's welcoming, inviting, and the merchandise is all stocked up and looking good. So nothing to report, but good things on that.
Okay, thank you. Any other facility? Okay, let's move on. Graham, you're up.
Okay, so we got the, Scott installed the divot mix containers that were put out in all the Part 3 tees on Dogwood, and they look great. We appreciate the Friends of Dogwood that put those together. Really nice job on that. We started our fall greens aeration on the Highlands. We went a week earlier than was scheduled because of the open date. We wanted to be in as good a shape as possible for that. So we did that on the 2nd and the 3rd of September. Our next one will be September 15th and 16th on the Country Club, September 22nd and 23rd on Kingswood in Burksdale, and then the 29th and 30th on Dogwood. I do want to say something that we actually pulled together very quickly. We had a recommendation from David Brandenburg that we look into a asphalt grinding service, and we were able to find one that was different than what we had originally looked at when we were kind of tasked with finding some solution to our bumpy cart paths out here. Kind of a unique situation that's really kind of tailored to walking paths and golf cart paths. And this machine is set up in a way where it only grinds a small area, and it will not allow the machine to dig in deeper than the surrounding cart path, where the other machines are this kind of like this milling thing that you can really dig into and remove a bunch of material. This only lets it grind off what's above the surrounding path. So anyways, we brought him out to Brittany today. He got 4.5 holes done. It looks pretty good. It really did take out all of the bumps. You guys will see on holes 2 especially, that is, if you guys get out to Brittany, you guys will see a big improvement on those. Didn't really tear up much, which we were happy about that. We do want to kind of see what happens in the winter. As we get the freeze and the thaws, is there any damage that can occur? Because if we were to, do this on a large scale and then something were to happen after the fact, we could have a real mess. So we kind of want to see what's going to happen through the winter, but this may be an option, a relatively inexpensive option moving forward to maybe smooth out our cart paths, if nothing else, as a temporary fix until we can do an overlay or whatever. So potentially an option. We're certainly happy with what we've seen so far. Number 13 Country Club. There's 2 options that we have come up with, and I'm going to present those to the board tomorrow for a decision. So I'll be able to report on that next month on what the fix is going to be on that hole. The pond on number 6. So if you guys remember, we had a capital project to seal that thing, right? And so our contractor got in there, he skimmed all the silt out, or as much as he could, getting it ready for to install the liner. And then we started getting a bunch of rain, and it filled up, and it never drained again. All through the summer, we had about 2 months of no rain there, maybe 7 weeks, six, 7 weeks, and it never went down at all. So we're like, okay, we think it's sealed. You know, we think what he's done with, you know, pushing that silt around must have plugged wherever the hole was. And so we've got all this dirt piled up around the pond now on the very edge. And so what I think we're gonna do is just, I'm gonna have to work with the MAC division, and we'll get that soil that was pushed up on the edge, you know, kind of laid back into the pond at an angle, and make it look like we were never there. And so at this point, the water never drained out, so we weren't able to install the liner. So without pumping that thing out, which I'm not even sure we could really do very effectively, that's kind of where we're at. I think, go ahead.
I just had a question. Did we buy the liners last year? Do we have the liners?
No,
No.
we never paid for the liner.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
Oh.
We're pouring the new concrete in the tunnel between 8 and 9. We're targeting either the September 22nd or the 29th, which is a Monday. We're gonna have to reroute cart traffic back through number 6 to get to 9Ts that way. I think they've probably done that before in the past. Yeah, okay. So that's coming back for probably three to 4 days for it to cure. You know, we're kind of concerned because we're pouring in shade inside a tunnel that, you know, may take a couple extra days to cure. So we are seeing some seed come up. Shane's efforts to get some of his damaged areas replanted. We are seeing some seed come up. We have also begun using turf plugs from the nursery to kind of fix some of these areas. He's got aerification coming up, and the reason we haven't really gotten after it with sod or turf plugs or like hex plugs from the nursery green are, if you put a bunch of those out and then aerify, you have a tendency to pull those back up, and then you got a huge mess on your hands. So we're gonna get through aerification, then we're gonna work on the turf replacement soon afterward, and we hope to have all the grass, you know, back to full coverage on both those golf courses ASAP. We're also working on getting quotes together for potentially adding fans out in Kingswood on 3 holes, and then get the existing large turf fan he's got that wasn't working all summer fixed. So we've got a few things working there to hopefully never have that problem on that golf course again. As you guys remember, last fall we started raising the height of cut on tees and fairways, collars. What that does is allow the Bermuda grass, gives it a little bit extra chance of surviving winter, and so we're doing that. We're working on that again this year. Really, we're only going up a 1/4 inch on almost all golf courses from where it was, you know, anywhere from a 1/4 to you know, a 1/15 of an inch on any given golf course. Pretty small increment, but you guys will probably notice it for a short period of time until the first frost. I know there was some discussion last year about it, and I would anticipate we'll probably maybe talk about it again, but it is coming. Something in our mind, while we have Bermuda grass, it's necessary, and so that's what we're doing again this year. Fall fertilizers all being applied this month in September. We saw some nice increases to, you know, turf density and everything as we head into winter, so we're going to do that again. And then also the fall and winter colorants are all going to happen again this year. We thought we had we had some good results from that. Highlands OSHA project is really just a recap of the email I sent everyone, but we'll run through it again as well. We're opening the Highlands Friday to better conditions than we opened 18 last year. Pretty confident with that. You know, with what we're seeing out there, that's true. The membership will notice that, you know, we're going to keep getting growth. Like the growth doesn't stop once we open, right? We're going to keep growing through the rest of the fall into the first few heavy frosts we have on the fairways. You know, there were several issues that were kind of outside of our control. Excessive rainfall, kind of a cooler than we were hoping for spring. You know, Greg and his staff just want to give them an extra, you know, really just pat on the back. They did a great job. You know, getting the golf course back into a playable shape. So really happy with what they've done. One note, and I've said this multiple times, but I'll say it again. Just like we opened 18 to play last year, and it was far from 100%, and that did not set it back or have any negative consequence on the playability of it or anything similar. That's the same thing we'll take that same concept and move it on to the rest of the golf holes that we're going to open up this Friday. Highlands is gonna reopen their twilight rates, carts on path only, including any handicap flag holders, and you guys are, you know, I think you guys do it already, but you have to play the ball up if you find yourself in an area you don't wanna hit out of. You know, if you really look at 18, you don't even have to really look at it, if you just even glance at 18, you should really get excited about where we're going to be in the near future. It's a wonderful product, really, really happy with the results there, and, you know, I don't want to jinx any of our golf courses at any time, but at some point there's going to be another winter kill event out here, and that will be one course we don't have to worry about. So that's the good news. You can see that picture. That was kind of our progress. You know, if you're looking at this thing, if you're looking at, that's Highlands number 7. If you're looking at it on July 3rd, you're thinking, there's no way this gets there, right? That's kind of what I thought there for a little while too. But by August, 30 days later, you know, you're getting pretty confident at that point in August that we're going to be okay. And then obviously in September, it's made a lot of progress. 30 days, you know, they say it's a slow grower. It is a slow grower, but it does make progress. You know, visual, you know, very easy to see progress in a month's time. So pretty happy with the process, and certainly going to be happy with the results. So that's my report. Any questions?
No questions for Graham? Alrighty, thank you. Daryl?
Right, I'm gonna jump right in since we're talking about Highlands. My order on the agenda was Rounds, then Highlands, then AJGA. I'm gonna go Highlands right away. I just want to be there. Alex and his crew, Greg, have done a great job. We're ready. Costs will be there tomorrow. We've got pictures to show the membership when they walk in, where it is, what's coming, and the stages that it's going. So it's very visual. So expectations are set before you get out there. I think that's the big thing we want to put out there is expectations. Play the ball up, have fun. I was out there. I drove around. I've been watching it really closely. I'm just going to tell you, there's no way you're going to have to move it a club length. You just have to move a little bit and you'll be able to play. So that is a big stepping stone. 2 months ago, you would have to move it a club length or 2. So it's really come a long way. I was dropping off snacks at Tanya Creek, and these 2 young guys came behind me. Young guys, I'm going to say young guys because they were in their mid-30s. They pulled up behind, and they pulled up behind me, and I was unloading, and they, hey, Daryl. No idea who they were, and I'm like, hey guys, and I'm like, you having a good time? He goes, yes, a weekday, and I'm playing golf. It's 11 o'clock. This is great. And I said, well, good deal. Appreciate you all. And I said, you playing this weekend? He goes, oh yeah, we got 2 tee times on Highlands on Saturday and then Sunday, and we can't wait. So I'm like, really, guys? And I said, just be ready. It's a little rough. He says, we actually went out and walked it the other night just to see what it was like. And man, it's better now than the winter kill we had 2 years ago. So we're not worried. I'm like, that's great. I said, I love your enthusiasms. Go have fun. So that's what everybody's got to look at. And yeah, it is going to be twilight race. So we're going to go out there. We opened the tee sheet, and within 3 hours it was packed for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So good times. Alex's crew, just be patient with them. They've got to figure out how to ring people in again for 18 holes of golf, but I know they can do it. I got faith in them.
There's definitely going to be a little rust there, so yeah, we'll figure it out.
We got that. So super excited about that. We did send out an email just specifically on Highlands, thanks to marketing, to the golf email and the POA. Just to remind people, no walking, sun up to sundown. It is golf activities only. I don't want people out there getting hit by golf balls, getting people's way, because it is carts on path. So I need those carts to stay on the path. And we found out that the walkers, the bike riders, they love to ride on the path. Now we're going to have conflict out there. And we don't need conflict out on a golf course. So we've sent it out there. Those are our policies to stay off the golf course for their own safety. So it is out there. We've done it. If golfers see people out there, please say, come on, you're not allowed to be out there. Call the pro shop. All right, that's kind of what we did. And then we reiterated that play the ball up, have fun, twilights, carts on path, just enjoy a course being open. And that's what I have on Highlands. Let's jump into the rounds report. And I'm happy to say, August round report, the rounds ended at 25,356. And this is really good to say that we were up 255 over last year. That's with the course down. I mean, it's not much, but it's something. I'll take it right now. Our membership rounds were up by 82 and guest rounds were up 173. Year to date, we had 138,417, down by 9,590 with a course closed for most of summer. That's pretty impressive. Just shows our yield on the other courses is extremely high. Membership are down by 4,747 and guests are down by 4,843. So all in all, not a bad year with having a course down, so very excited about those numbers. Even with the extreme heat that we had in August, that's a typo, in August, it was super hot and we still had golfers out there, which is great. Range buckets, we had 49,130. That's 15,398 over last year. Now, I'm going to say this again, I know I've beat it in, but we used to just do 16,000 buckets for a whole year between all the ranges back in the day. It's just crazy. That's a lot of golf balls being hit out there, and everyone's loving golf, which is super excited. That's my round report. The other thing, I've given the Highlands. I want to give a shout out to Ruth, the volunteers, Reed, his crew. We had the AJGA in town, and what a weekend. We had, well, unfortunately, our qualifier with 79 kids was rained out. People were coming in to qualify for 6 spots, so that didn't happen. So that hurt a little bit. We had people driving in, flying in from all over this country, and they just had to sleep here, get up, and go home. And that hurt a little bit. But they ate at the restaurant, they came and visited, and they looked around. This is a pretty place. They'd never been here. So that was sad, but moving into Dave and his crew, getting the AJGA Junior Am, getting that around with some junior players, and that was fun. I know they had a good time watching these kids play golf, and they're all extremely good golfers. To the actual tournament, and Alex is going to report on some of the scores that were shot at it. But the biggest thing I get to witness and the joy of it is the support from the community, and then us showing what we have here off to everybody. I mean, it's crazy. People coming over from California and like Arkansas, never heard of this place, and look what you have here. They walk into our pro shop, they're like, oh wow, this is impressive. They eat at the restaurant. This is all that cost for that food? This is great. So, I mean, it's not only for the golf, it's just for everybody coming in. And Visit Bella Vista filled over 100 Airbnbs for the week, and it was hugely successful, and they want to do it again. So thank you all. Thank you, Dave, Futures Cup, and we raised money for the for our program that we have down there, which is massive. So it all came locally, all charity came local. So thank you all. That's all I have on that.
I just want to comment too on the AJGA. I want to thank Daryl for his support. Through his efforts, the money that we raised stayed local here, and that hasn't been that way in the past. And we were able to raise over $2,000 for our Futures Academy that we started just last year. So that's in addition to what we're going to raise with the Futures Cup. So we're probably going to get maybe a little over $10,000 raised this year for the Futures Academy, which is only benefiting junior golf. I played in it, was just dumbfounded at how good these kids are. I played with a kid who was 15 years old, and I told him when we were done, I said, look, I only have one request, and that is when you make the U.S. team, I want tickets to the Ryder Cup. Because this kid, I think he's got a good chance to be a pro. I mean, he's that good. And he's not alone. There were several kids there that I think we're going to see on the PGA Tour or the LPGA Tour. I think that's going to happen. So it's great golf. Everybody that I was able to recruit from our group that plays in the Futures Cup all had just nothing but positive things to say. And we're gonna try to blow it up even bigger next year. We were able to recruit about 25 golfers this year. I think we're gonna try to double that next year and get more and more for that. And they were already saying that we had one of the biggest pro-ams. You can't call it a pro-am because they're amateurs, but the am or whatever you want to call it. But we had one of the biggest amateur days that they've had this year in their season. So that's good to know, but I still think we can do better. And I think next year I'd really like to, get maybe an earlier start get it on the calendar and let everybody know that, I mean, look, it cost us $100 to play in this thing, and we had 25 guys and we raised $2,000 for local charity. That's almost dollar for dollar. Everything that we put in came right back into the community. So, I mean, what a great investment to our community. And again, thanks to Ruth and all of her volunteers. Ruth is amazing. I don't know where she gets the energy to do this year after year.
She's losing her fast.
She's a dynamo, man, I'm telling you. And I know her volunteers are all scared to death of her, but she does a great job. So thanks,
They
Ruth.
accept the candy.
Yeah, thank you for what you do.
Thank you, I appreciate that. Anything else for Daryl? If not, Alex?
All right, while we're on the subject of the AJGA, I'd like to congratulate all of our Bella Vista Futures Academy ambassadors for playing. That's Tyler Walstead, Tegan Muldoon, and Maddie Stokes. I think it was their first time playing in an AJGA event, except for maybe Tegan, who's played in it the last couple of years. But very proud of them. They got some good golf experience and a real test of golf with some really great players. So they did a fantastic job. Congratulations to the boys winner. His name is Harrison Zipful out of St. Louis, Missouri. He fired 16 under for a 3-day total, shot 64, 72, 64. Yeah, not too familiar with that myself.
And that's from the tips.
That's the full golf course, yes, sir.
It's unbelievable.
And the girls' winner was Isabella Anderson out of Columbus, Ohio, with a 9 under total for the 3 days, and that was 68, 71, 68. So 3 straight rounds under par. So good test, but these kids can play, as you said, Dave. So also since last month, we have crowned new men's club champions and senior men's club champions. I'd like to recognize those winners in the age division. So first we have the Legends Flight, which was for men 75 and older. Your winner is Bob Walpert with a 2-day total of 6 over par. Your Super Senior Champion, which is from ages 55 to 64, I believe. A 2 under par 2-day total for Mr. Bob Brooks. Your Senior Champion, which is age 50 to 59. First time winner for Jeff Bell, a 2-day total of 11 over par. And our Men's Club Champion for 2025, now a multiple time champion. I can't even tell you how many times he's won it. But 4 under par total for Mark Chambers. So congratulations to all of our club champions this year. Very well done. Aside from that, coming up, we've got the prostate cancer tournament at Highlands on Saturday, September the 27th. We're about half capacity, so there's plenty of time and plenty of room to get into that event. Remember that it will be cart path only, things like that, as we are playing at the Highlands that day. And then the Rally in Pink is held at Scottsdale on October the 25th. That's a Saturday. I believe registration for that will open up tomorrow at 9 or 10 or whatever the case is. Friday.
Friday at 10.
Friday at 10, okay, sorry. I was thinking today was Thursday, but that's coming soon, so get that on your calendars and sign up and play. All our teaching programs are going well. We've started all of our Op 36 stuff already for our fall leagues. You still got some couples leagues that are going on that there's still time to sign up for. Those start on September the 20th or the 21st. We've got a Saturday class and a Sunday class for couples instruction with Tom Levine, our part-time teacher there. And then in Hannah's Futures Academy, she's starting homeschool class, intro to golf class, and her toddlers and tees class here this week. So this is kind of the last opportunity to sign up for any of those because I believe they're starting Friday and Saturday of this week. So anybody that wanted to get in, now would be the time. And that's all I have for today.
Okay, one addition to the junior, when I looked at the leaderboard several times later on, you had to go down 40 boys, and everyone in the top 40 had at least 1 round under par. So it wasn't 2 or 3 people that excelled, it was all the way down. So you're talking some pretty darn good golfers that showed up and performed when they got here. So it made a difference. It was, I expected maybe 10 at the most, but it went clear down. They're good, so. Thanks, Alex.
I got one more thing. I
Sure.
forgot. This wasn't on the agenda because it kind of came up a little late. So this is about tee time bookings. You know, we back in the day, we used to have a call in We've done away with the call-in, and we went to online, and we were actually robbing the membership of a not a true 10-day booking out. It was actually 9 days and so many hours shy, or about 4 hours shy of actual midnight, and then people could book. So we've investigated. I've done a lot of trials behind the scene, and first of all, we gave them the 10 days. We moved it to midnight. And it was, we did that beginning of this year. And then we had people saying, man, I got to go to sleep, set my alarm, wake up, and try to get the tea times. And I'm like, really? So I started paying attention. Then we closed Highlands. And then I really noticed. I mean, people would wake up at midnight, and by midnight to 3 minutes after midnight, we would have over 70-something tea times booked. And it's crazy. So I'm like, man, this is not right, because I had some people stop me in the pro shop and like, man, this is crazy. So we've done some research. Ray down in IT and TEI, which is our service that we use, they've got it. So what we're going to do for the membership, starting on the 22nd, and I'm going to announce it, September 22nd, we're going to go 10 days and 3 hours. So it'll be able to start, you can book 10 days and 3 hours, 9 o'clock. You'll be able to jump on your internet and be able to book and get tea time. I think the membership's going to like that. I know some grumpy people in the morning are definitely going to like it, so it's kind of tough, and I get it. But when you tell a computer go 10 days out, it goes 10 days out exactly. So we had to kind of refigure it, and we'll get that open on the 22nd. I also put in the golf update the Friday before, so everybody can see it. So I think it's a good news, helping our membership out. We do listen. We just got to refigure it stuff and make it all work. Okay.
Anything else for Alex? If not, Tom? Nothing? And I don't see any board liaisons here at this time. Kyle, do you have anything you want to talk about? No? Okay. Old business, I'm going to share with you, the juniors write handwritten thank yous to volunteers, to the staff, and to the maintenance. Is that correct, the 3 groups? And they're all handwritten, and the kids write them themselves, and it's kind of refreshing to see. I had to correct some of the spelling and change a few words that probably weren't appropriate, but that's all right, not a problem. And I'm going to take the liberty to read some of them, and it made a big difference to the volunteers. We didn't know until 2 weeks before that we were switching to the country club, and it was relatively easy, thanks to the group that left us. They went on a river cruise instead, and they took several spots with them, however. We thank them also. But it was relatively easy to get people to change over to here, but they all like Highlands better. They liked Highlands better. Okay, from the juniors. Thank you for getting amazing volunteers for a tournament. Bella Vista Country Club is a fantastic course and beautiful scenery. The tournament helped me with my goals because we got to play with girls from all over the country. Again, thank you. This is from Olivia from Texas. Thank you so much for finding all the volunteers and organizing the event. Bella Vista is a very special place, and I look forward to coming back, and what a great place. This was Jonathan Ward from Waukee, Iowa. Thank you so much for the tireless work and the volunteers this week. Really enjoyed having the support from the volunteers. Can't thank the volunteers enough for their help. This is Tyson from Dallas, Texas. Thanks to the volunteers for the great event. It's critical that this event, where I come from back, they lack volunteers and the event struggles. Thank you. This is Charlie from Ontario, Canada. Thank you for finding so many volunteers to make the event amazing. This is my first AGAG, and it was fun and amazing experience. I really appreciate the Bella Vista for making my amazing experience true. This is from Maddie from Bentonville. She didn't have a great weekend, but she was enthusiastic, and it really made a difference to her. And I got to talk to her personally, and it did make a big difference. Thank you so much for the volunteers this week. They were super helpful in spotting balls and recording scores. This is my 2nd year in Bella Vista. I'm great of how well it's organized, where the AGA event was. And this is from Lisa from Naperville, Illinois. Thank you for all your support and work to help make the tournament possible. It means so much to me to be able to get to play this event like this, and I know that would not have had the chance without all of you. I really enjoyed getting to see all the volunteers' friendly faces. This is from Emma from Texas. Thank you for hosting and organizing the volunteers. I would have played a few strokes worse without the spotters. Hopefully come back again next year. This is Sean from Irvine, California. I don't know how they helped him, whether they kicked the ball in and out of bounds, I'm not sure. Thank you for everything. The volunteers were amazing this week, spotting balls and updating scores. Thanks for everyone. This is Emerson from Edmond, Oklahoma. Thank you for the many volunteers for the tournament and this week and for making the tournament go so well. This was definitely one of the best run AGA events that we've played in and hope to come back next year. Sasha from Fresno, Texas. Thank you for everything you did for the tournament. One of my favorite parts of playing in the AGA is all the volunteers and everything they put together to make this experience more special for each of us. This is Stephanie from South Lake, Texas. Thank you for getting so many volunteers for the event and spot balls and make sure things ran well. The volunteers were very nice and helpful. Jackson from Powell, Ohio. Thanks for putting together such a great group of volunteers. Every one of them had very kind and considerate. We appreciate all of them. This is from Cleo from Little Rock, Arkansas. I sent personal thank yous to all the volunteers and they were appreciative, but I sent this to every one of the volunteers and I can't tell you the responses I got back from the volunteers by hearing it from the kids themselves. So it does make a difference and we were very pleased with each of them and the great time we had, and these kids are our future, so we need to really stay with them, so we appreciate all. Okay, I have nothing else on old business. Does anybody else have old business? New business?
Well, it's sort of old business, but new business. Last meeting, we talked about the next course in the rotation for Zoysia Fairways. The suggestion was at the time that it would be Country Club. Since I've gotten a lot of feedback from many of our members saying that they think that they would rather see us do that next year at Kingswood rather than the Country Club, and there's a couple of reasons for it. Number one, we all know that we've had some problems with the greens at Kingswood this year. This would allow us next summer to kind of rectify some of those issues that we've had on those greens, maybe get those fans up and rolling if we can get that budgeted, get that course in a little bit better shape overall. Plus, Kingswood also has Burksdale, so it's not like you shut down the whole facility. You'd still be able to keep the pro shop open and be able to play Burksdale, and so you wouldn't have the whole thing shut down. The other suggestion was that, you know, we're still sort of in the learning process. We learned a lot this year, but I think I think we can all agree that the Country Club is our marquee course. They're all great, but the Country Club, because of the clubhouse and, you know, the Country Club facility itself, it's, you know, it's the one that we put forward to the community, to visitors, to whatever, as sort of our marquee course. We call it the Country Club because it's the oldest and it's, you know, it's just considered one of those. I would like to see us, and I'd like to strongly have you guys consider not using Country Club as the next one. I think we could use one more year of testing, one more year of learning about this process, and see how the new thing goes next year, where we're going to start in mid-May or May instead of starting in March like we did this year. Let's see how that goes. That's going to be a good test for us on a course like Kingswood, rather than trying that out on the Country Club. So I don't know if we want to put it to a vote. I don't know if we have any other comments, but when I heard it from the membership, I couldn't agree more. I think it makes a lot of sense. I think we can delay Country Club. And on top of it all, Country Club and Scottsdale are the two courses that are in the best shape of all the courses that we have. And Dogwood probably would be considered, you know, right in that field as well. And I think because we kept the carts on the paths in the winter at Country Club at Scottsdale, those courses came back great. And the fairways are actually in pretty decent shape on those two courses in particular. And so why mess with it right now? Let's just delay that another year, maybe 2 years. Maybe we do Kingswood, maybe Dogwood then, and then we can decide, flip a coin as to whether we do Scottsdale or Country Club next. I mean, that would be my recommendation, but I know we only get to make suggestions, but I would really like you guys to strongly consider it.
And we appreciate the recommendation, absolutely. And we're going to keep that, we're going to take that into consideration when we make the decision. But ultimately, you know, I don't want to be the one that makes the decision. I want the expert. I want the golf course superintendent and Graham to make that decision, because ultimately they're the area experts. So we hear you loud and clear. But let's let them talk about it, and we can report back.
Jim, go ahead.
Yeah, I'd just like to second what Dave said. I think that would be a good idea, and I'd be for his suggestion. Country Club's in really good shape. I mean, fairways are good. Winter kill, we don't know, but not having the carts on the path in the winter really worked out well. If next year's like this, I'd say don't touch them. I mean, I agree with him.
Anyone else? Because that's what I was hearing too, is the country club.
So I just want to put this so the committee members and membership know we can't wait till next year to decide, because budgeting is made in October, November. So for instance, staffing, rounds, everything has got to be formulated in October and November. So we're going to make a decision before we see what the winter kill is. So, but I like what you said. Graham and I will sit down and have a look. He's the expert. We'll talk about it. We'll see where we're and we'll go from there.
So,
I love what you brought to us. Thank you.
So the one thing with the process, as you guys know, especially planting a little bit later, is the requirement of irrigation. Kingswood has single row irrigation down the middle. So we had to do some modification and a lot of addition on Highlands once we knew we were going to do it. That's what we worked on last fall. And so to get the coverage we needed to be able to water the sprigs. And so Country Club has an updated system, had a renovation, I think in 2011. So they have really good coverage, and that was maybe why we were thinking that next. We would really have to evaluate the irrigation system on all other golf courses before we would be able to do that. The other option is if you planted earlier, you get the rainy spring, and then the irrigation isn't as critical. But if you plant in May when it's getting warmer and potentially into a dry period, you have to have the water. That's the first 6 weeks are really critical there, making sure you have the coverage that you can keep those sprigs wet. So certainly something we need to look into really close over the next very short amount of time, figure out what's possible there.
Okay, anything else? Any other new business? If not, next golf meeting is October 8th, here Wednesday at 4 o'clock in the boardroom. If there's nothing else, we stand adjourned.